Hello and welcome to Whispered Legends. I am your storyteller, and I'm thrilled to have you here. Get ready to journey into tales of mystery, adventure, and the unknown. If you love stories that spark your imagination, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a whisper. Now, let's begin today's tale. The Lost Colony of Roanoke is a story steeped in mystery, intrigue, and unanswered questions that have persisted for over 400 years. It is the tale of the English settlers who vanished without a trace from their colony on Roanoke Island in what is now North Carolina, leaving behind cryptic clues that have captivated historians, archaeologists, and storytellers alike. The key piece of evidence left behind, a single word carved into a tree, Croatoan, has sparked centuries of speculation about the fate of the settlers, leading to a range of theories but no definitive answers. This detailed account explores the origins of the colony, the mysterious disappearance, the theories surrounding their fate, and the ongoing efforts to unravel one of the most perplexing historical puzzles in American history. The story of the Lost Colony begins in the context of England's growing interest in establishing a permanent presence in the New World. During the late 16th century, European powers like Spain and France were expanding their empires into the Americas, and England, under the rule of Queen Elizabeth I, sought to stake its claim in the New World. Sir Walter Raleigh, an ambitious English nobleman, was granted a charter by the Queen in 1584 to colonize land along the eastern coast of North America. Raleigh's first attempt at colonization came in 1585, when he sent an expedition under the command of Sir Richard Grenville to establish a base of operations in what is now North Carolina. The English settlers initially chose Roanoke Island due to its strategic location and natural resources. However, their attempt to settle proved difficult. They faced significant challenges, including strained relations with local Native American tribes, particularly the Croatoan, and a lack of supplies. The settlers' ill-preparedness and the hostile environment led to the abandonment of the settlement, with Grenville returning to England in 1586. However, before leaving, Grenville left behind a small group of men to continue the colony, though these settlers too would soon face hardship. In 1587, Sir Walter Raleigh sent a second group of settlers, this time including families and women, to establish a permanent colony. The expedition was led by John White, a skilled artist and cartographer who had previously participated in earlier voyages. White was tasked with overseeing the colony's growth, including the establishment of fortified settlements, agriculture, and trade with the local Native American tribes. The 1587 expedition consisted of 117 individuals, including men, women, and children. Among them was White's daughter, Eleanor Dare, and her newborn daughter, Virginia Dare, who would go on to become the first English child born in the New World. The settlers landed on Roanoke Island and began constructing homes and fortifications. However, the settlers were once again faced with numerous challenges, including food shortages, difficult weather conditions, and continued tension with nearby Native American tribes. By this time, the relations between the English settlers and the Native Americans were more complex. The English had begun to encroach on the lands of the tribes, creating friction and distrust. The settlement on Roanoke Island struggled to survive in the harsh conditions, and after just a few months, John White made the decision to return to England to gather supplies and reinforcements. He left the colony in the hands of the remaining settlers with the intention of returning within a few months, but his journey back to England was delayed for 3 years due to a combination of factors, including the outbreak of the Anglo-Spanish War. When John White finally returned to Roanoke Island in 1590, he was met with an eerie sight: there was no sign of life. The colony had disappeared. The houses and fortifications were abandoned, and there were no bodies or signs of struggle. Everything appeared to be deserted, with no immediate evidence to suggest what had happened to the colonists. The only clues that remained were a few scattered objects, including a broken-up signpost, and the cryptic word, Croatoan, carved into a tree. Additionally, the letters, CRO, had been carved into a post of the fort. The word, Croatoan, referred to an island located to the south of Roanoke Island, which was inhabited by the Croatoan people, a Native American tribe with whom the settlers had previously established some contact. The carving of the word on the tree was interpreted by White and his men as a message indicating that the settlers had relocated to Croatoan Island. Despite this clue, no sign of the missing settlers was found on Croatoan Island during White's brief search there. Furthermore, White was unable to find any trace of the settlers during his subsequent search of the surrounding area. He was forced to return to England, reporting that the colony had vanished and leaving the fate of the settlers unresolved. The disappearance of the Roanoke colony has been the subject of much speculation and many theories over the centuries. Scholars, historians, and amateur sleuths have proposed numerous explanations to account for the disappearance, though none have been definitively proven. Here are some of the most commonly discussed theories. The colonists moved to Croatoan Island. One of the most widely accepted theories suggests that the colonists may have moved to Croatoan Island after facing difficult conditions on Roanoke. The carving of the word Croatoan on the tree is seen as a possible indication that the settlers relocated to the island, either for safety or to seek aid from the Croatoan tribe. This theory is supported by the fact that the Croatoan people had been relatively friendly with the English settlers in previous encounters. Some have even pointed to the presence of lighter skin and European features among certain members of the Croatoan tribe as evidence that the settlers may have integrated with the native population. However, no direct evidence has ever been found to confirm that the colonists lived with the Croatoans, and many historians remain skeptical of this theory. The colonists were killed by hostile Native Americans. Another theory is that the settlers were killed by hostile Native American tribes. Tensions have been rising between the English and several indigenous groups, including the Powhatan Confederacy, and there were likely tribes in the region that were opposed to the European presence. This theory posits that the settlers may have been massacred by these tribes, but there is no physical evidence to support this. The lack of bodies or remains at the Roanoke site makes this theory difficult to prove. The colonists died from starvation or disease. A third theory is that the settlers succumbed to the harsh conditions of the New World, including starvation, disease, and exposure to the elements. The colony faced serious food shortages, and it's possible that the settlers attempted to move inland in search of more resources or shelter. In this scenario, the colonists may have perished in the wilderness, and their remains were never found. The high mortality rate of early European settlers in the Americas makes this theory plausible, but the absence of any physical remains weakens it. The colonists tried to return to England. Another theory suggests that the settlers might have attempted to return to England, but were lost at sea. Some believe that they may have built boats or rafts in an attempt to sail back to England, but were caught in storms or navigational errors, leading to their deaths at sea. This theory is plausible in some ways, but no wreckage or remains of such an attempt have been found. The Spanish destroyed the colony. During the time of the Lost Colony, Spain was the dominant European power in the Americas, and the Spanish were hostile toward the English efforts to colonize the New World. Some historians have suggested that the Spanish might have destroyed the Roanoke settlement, either by attacking the colonists directly or by sending forces to wipe out the English presence. However, there is no direct evidence from Spanish records to support this claim, and it remains speculative. The Lost Colony in modern DNA testing. In more recent years, DNA analysis has been employed in an attempt to solve the mystery of the Lost Colony. Researchers have tested the DNA of modern-day descendants of the Croatoan people and compared it to European DNA, with some findings suggesting a possible link between the Croatoans and the English settlers. However, the results are inconclusive, and no direct evidence has been found to establish a clear connection between the settlers and the Croatoan tribe. Despite the passing of centuries, the mystery of the Lost Colony of Roanoke continues to captivate the imaginations of people around the world. Archaeological digs have been conducted on Roanoke Island and nearby Croatoan Island, but so far, no significant discoveries have been made that definitively solve the puzzle. In addition to traditional archaeological methods, modern technology such as ground-penetrating radar and DNA analysis have been used to try to uncover new clues. In 2015, a team of researchers led by Dr. David J. Stewart launched a project to investigate possible connections between the English settlers and the Croatoan tribe. Their work included DNA testing of the Croatoan people and examining historical records to search for clues that might link the lost settlers to the modern-day descendants of the Croatoan tribe. The results were mixed, with some evidence suggesting a genetic connection, but nothing conclusive enough to solve the mystery. The story of the lost colony of Roanoke has become an enduring part of American folklore, inspiring countless books, documentaries, and fictional works. The mysterious disappearance of the settlers has been woven into the fabric of American history, with the word Croatoan becoming a symbol of unanswered questions. The tale of Roanoke is often cited as one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of early American history. While the fate of the settlers may never be definitively known, their story remains a poignant reminder of the challenges and dangers faced by early European colonists in the Americas. The lost colony of Roanoke endures as an enigma, and the mystery surrounding it continues to fascinate historians, archaeologists, and mystery lovers alike, who may one day uncover the final piece of the puzzle that explains the fate of those brave souls who disappeared without a trace.